We're here with Kelly Licata of Lotton Art Glass Studio and Gallery, and you're the one who's responsible for getting us here today. Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, happy to.
It's
Thank you.
really fun to be out here and to talk to y'all and see these beautiful pieces. I've never seen anything like this before.
I know, it's very unique here. There's nothing quite like it. This is all one-of-a-kind, handmade, blown glass. It's beautiful, and I want everybody to see it. So
yes, and your location here in Crete is kind of a little bit off the beaten path. Definitely, your buildings are a little bit nondescript, and I imagine you get people all the time who come in and are like, "I had no idea you guys were here this whole time."
That's a common thing that we get here. We do get all the time people. Either they'll be, just driving, they're on their way somewhere, and they just noticed it. They're like, I never noticed that before, and they'll come on down, and the way that they come in, when a newcomer comes in, it's just kind of fascinating. The looks on their face when they come in, they're like, I had no idea.
And I imagine a time when that, by design, the time when that will happen is the open house.
Yes.
Which is on May 3 and May 4, right? Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
Kind of what's in store, and what is that open house going to be?
Well, basically there's going to be a lot of live glass blowing going on. We've got all 4 of our artists that will be in the studio, and they'll be blowing glass, and you can feel free to go and watch them. There's also going to be a lot of glass art on display. As you can see, this gallery is full of glass, but there's going to be even more new lines of glass, and it's going to be all prettied up for you. So.
Excellent. So we're in the first building here, coming directly from the gallery. This is really sweet.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff back here.
Yeah.
Right here is where David does his stuff. He blows glass at this station.
David, can you walk me through? Assume I know nothing, because that's not actually an assumption at all. I know nothing. What are you doing right now?
I just got 2 gathers on a pipe of some pink and then some crystal. And then I put some fret, which is ground up powdered glass, on there. And I'm going to thread it with a bead of silver bearing glass. And it's going to look so cool, you'll think we were on PBS.
How old were you when you started doing this? I know your dad started
10.
the family. You were 10 years old.
Yep, I was an indentured servant at 10 years old. Can you give me a little puff there, Robert? Okay, stop, let me, at 10, I worked with him kind of the way that they would do in Europe or overseas, where the kids just, did what their dad did. So when if my dad was a beautician, I probably would have been a beautician, because I used to work in his shop, sweeping the floors and shampoos and stuff when I was a little kid. So I probably would have been that.
What is it when it starts? Is it?
Well, we start out with sand and various chemicals, mix it all up in a concrete mixer. On Fridays, we'll usually, that's when we cook our glass. We'll shovel it into the furnace, turn the furnace up by another couple hundred degrees, and then Monday we've got glass to use. And then our big crucible is in here, and it holds about 400 pounds of the crystal, the clear glass. And so I'm just going to kind of dip the end of this in there, almost like getting dipping a caramel apple, getting a little glob of glass on the end here.
Glob of glass.
Yep. So this is called a gather.
Yeah, my father came up with the original idea for this, and then I just kind of tweaked it a little bit. Can you pull it back, Robert? Yeah, cool. Right there.
Wow. So we've been watching you for 2 minutes, and already the thing has come in and out 3 times. So it's very precise. It needs to be in and then out and then back in. The
Right.
timing is very precise.
Yep. It's glass. When you're working it, it's like people. You're getting older, whether you like it or not. So glass is either getting colder or hotter. As long as he's putting it in the fire, it's getting hotter, and when he comes out, it's getting colder.
Okay.
So
it looks different than when he just put it in the fire. There was
yeah,
stuff on the outside.
Yeah,
and
he
now there's
picked up
not.
about 150 degrees or 2.
This is our white glass, and as it gets worked, it'll turn white. It comes out of the furnace completely clear, and then as it gets heated and cooled, it gets color to it.
Did you say this is going to be a vase?
I think I'm going to make, well, either a vase or a perfume bottle. Some sort of blown piece.
You see these lines?
Yeah.
You see on the edges of those lines there's kind of a white, furry, fuzzy thing?
Yeah.
Okay, that is, I just reduced the silver to the surface of the glass with that. And it's really a lot like target practicing, where you are constantly adjusting for the wind, the elevations and stuff. And if you're not good at shifting on the fly, you're not going to do too much glass. Okay, so I'm looking to see how thick the piece is. Robert, are we ready for this? Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I do calla lilies, hibiscus, and orchids are my main floral decorations. And I have galleries that I deal with all across the country. Some of my bigger accounts are in Hawaii, California, New York, Colorado, Florida. So I get orders on a regular basis coming in from galleries, and usually they have a pretty good idea of what they want. Sometimes they'll just be like, send us some big pieces, and they don't care what colors. They know whatever I send, they're going to be able to move. All right, so if this was going to be a paperweight, I'd get it shaped a bit better and cut down off the pipe. Since it's going to be a blown piece, now comes the secret part that I don't want filmed.
So you come out with an idea in your mind what you're going to do, right?
Yeah.
And then life happens. And then what do? Well, you do whatever you can. So if you're, like I said, if you can't shift on the fly, so when I get done with this, you'll be like, oh, that's way different than I thought it was.
What's a way that your style would differ from your father's, would you say?
Well, he started, and he has his own version of the way he blows glass. This is as close to his style as I get.
Okay.
Right here. Everything else I do takes a little longer and is totally not his style. And as a matter of fact, when I started making that, he's like, so when are you going to make a real piece of glass? Because he, he was kind of country, and he had, his own ideas. But the reality is that, do you want to be a little him, or do you want to be something,
Yeah,
sure. So you have to get to a point where either you're really an artist or you're just a craftsman.
Yeah.
So it's really just like the first 1.5 feet of the pipe that gets hot?
Yeah. Yeah, right there. That would burn me if I touched it for long. But right here, it's just a little above room temperature. Stainless steel doesn't really conduct heat very well. So that's pretty much the finished piece there.
Wow.
I guess I'd call that a toothpick holder maybe, or bud vase.
So it'll clear up as it.
Yeah, it's the first color that I threaded on there is a bright green. That actually over the white, it'll look a bit more like that. So that's about the shade of the green that's in there. The kind of yellowish color, amber tone to it right now is because of the heat. It's still basically glowing hot. So I'm just going to put another quick heat on this and then put it in the annealing oven.
Okay, heat the tip again. All the way up in there. Okay, now pull her back. Pull her back, right, a little bit right there. I think we can do it. Okay, right up here. Okay, stop. Okay. These are very rare pieces. If you look in history, in the history books of glass, you won't see almost nothing like this. And what I think of is I think of a little bird getting food from its mom.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So how do you know when it's finished? Like, I feel like you can keep going all day tweaking. How do you know when it's finished?
Because I'm done.
Said like an artist.
If you're an artist, you have to know when to stop. Because if you don't, you'll overdo it. And you'll go past where you want to be.
So when we're done with pieces, they have to cool down slowly overnight. If we let them cool down too fast, the piece will crack. And that's how it comes off.
It's beautiful.
So it stays in there up around 900 degrees all day, and then at the end of the day I'll set it to slowly turn down overnight. So that piece will be ready to come out of the oven around 8 or 9 tomorrow morning.
So it cools down to room temperature?
Yep. Yeah, the oven brings it down slowly enough that it releases any tension in the glass. Glass cools so slowly that my best example of why we anneal things properly is I made a paperweight early on when I was starting out. Didn't turn out. I set it outside the back of the shop, figuring it would pop during my next piece. It was still sitting out there the next morning. So I threw it at the brick piles behind the shop, hoping to get it to, shatter or whatever. So a full-size paperweight, size of something like that, I threw it half a dozen times, barely damaged it at all. Had it in my hand, getting ready to throw it again, and it blew up. It completely shattered. There was nothing bigger than that left of it. Just like a little grenade, just glass all over the place in my hair. I had safety glasses and gloves on because I knew what I was doing was not safe. But yeah, it completely shattered. So
Wow.
that's why we make sure that things get cooled down at the proper rate to not have to worry about any cracks or potentially something like that happening.
That's what you're going to be working on today. Is a piece
Yeah, I'm
like
going to make
this.
a couple of those. And then
That seems like a very involved process.
actually that little piece that I did right there was quite dainty. This right here is more of a kind of a push through it. You're going to bulldoze through it. So, these are like in between that. But if you come back here, I'll show you what they are. This is this, okay? Now sometimes I'm not real happy with what I got there. So what I'll do is I'll take that baby and flatten it out and do something like one of these or that.
More of a sculpture kind
It's a
of.
total sculpture, absolutely.
This is
and-
what goes inside. This is what causes.
That's
the
what I
color.
make these out of.
Okay.
And these are made with different things. So we can make flowers about 4 different ways.
Okay.
My dad came up with the red up there first, which is a mandarin red. And then I took it into then we did the mandarin yellow, which he did. And then I did the mandarin orange. I haven't got to the part where I can't make glass, so I will make it better every day I can make it. And I expect to.
So the open house, obviously an opportunity open to everyone to come and see. It really can serve a lot of different purposes for different people, depending on what it is that they're here for, right? You can come and, just see the art getting made. Lots of different inspiration that can happen here.
Absolutely. Anybody's welcome to come. We have a lot of different styles of art that anybody can just immerse themselves in and experience beautiful blown glass. I want anybody to feel inspired by their glass. I want anybody to feel relaxed and welcome here. It's really like a good self-care day. Coming out here it's like a really nice relaxing experience. Just watching the glass is so mesmerizing, and really you'll thank yourself for it. I mean, you don't get to see this every day, so this is just a really nice experience, an opportunity to just take care of yourself. Go out with your family and friends, or just yourself, and just have a few hours to just watch.
So.